Sometimes cars under 500k can be better than cars that are over 2 million. Here's a list of cars that are really good under 500k. They're cars you shouldn't ignore just because they're cheap. They're most likely better than most cars that are over that price. Here's the best cars under 500k in my opinion. The Carbonizer, the Carbonizer, the Carbonizare. The car has many names. I don't mind, looks like a flammable Ron container, but there isn't many modifications you could actually do to the Carbonizer. But it does have unique features, like it being the loudest car in the game. It's one of very few cars that have a hardtop convertible roof. There's many great sounding cars, there's many loud cars, but this is a good sounding and the loudest car. And it's a supercar for under 500k. When you normally just do hear a pedestrian in the background with a sports car that's really loud, it's normally the Carbonizer. I mean, it costs 195k. Okay, it is a bit dated, hardly any modifications. Unfortunately, if you do want to buy this car, it's removed. I apologize. When you think drifting, you think Banshee 900R, Futo, the Remus on low grips, but you rarely think of Rapid GT. I mean, to be honest, it does look pretty stupid drifting. It's a British sports car and it's drifting. But little do you know, or you probably do know, that it makes a very, very good drift car. This was like an OG drift car, and it was always a drift car that was very niche, like not a lot of people used it, and still today, not a lot of people use it. Except me, because it's marvelous. It's so smooth at drifting. It's very hard to go wrong drifting with this car. You will have to get used to it. It's a lot stiffer than other cars. It doesn't have much of a steering angle. It's 132,000. This is cheap. Any cheaper and you could just steal it off the street. Do not sleep on this car. It's amazing, especially when you lower it. Oh yeah, sorry, you can't buy it off the website either. Shafter V12. I think a lot of people already know why this is going to be on the list. The car's 116k. I mean, I said under 500k and we're hitting cars that are in the 100k mark. Some argue this is the best sounding car in the game. It's definitely not. It's definitely not when you've got other cars like the Sterling GT. But I definitely will say that the startup on this car, it has to be first or second place. It's up there with the retinue. And it's also silly how fast this thing is in a straight line. You get too much with this car for the amount it costs. And you've still got quite a few modifications. Okay, you've not got a crazy amount. But if we're talking best bang for buck, like this car, it has a little too much for how much it costs. And yeah, it's actually still on the market. I was surprised that it was still on the market. It's probably because it does have an armored option, so Rockstar don't want to get rid of vehicles that have like an added option. If you're new to the game or you've never owned this car, you need to own this car. What's 116k? It's like one mission now. Do one mission and get a Shafter V12, something that sounds beautiful and is super fast in a straight line. The Rumpole Custom. I feel like I'm disappointing a lot of people again, because this is something that's been taken off the market, and I understand that this is a lesser used vehicle, meaning that most of you probably don't have this in your garage, so you're probably going to want to buy it, but you can't buy it. Well, as always, our Discord's in the description. You can buy it in LS Car Meet off any of our members if you just join the Discord trading server. But this thing, I mean, you can tell by looking at it, it's super unique. It used to be called the jelly car because the suspension was like jelly, and they nerfed it a bit. They made it a bit more or a bit less jelly. But as you can see, the car still has so much rebound, and that's why this car just flips all of a sudden. It's not ideal to do any mission with it because you're going to get frustrated when this starts barrel rolling halfway through your mission. But yeah, this is not to be used at any particular task. It's just there for fun, and for 130k it's cheap fun. You know, you don't need to buy an arena war car to do this. Again, another car in the 100k range. The Triso. This car just makes me happy. First of all, look at the design of this car. Look at the stance. Look at the detail of this car. Literally, this car is everything. It has everything. It has the sound, the detail, the unique features. I mean, this car has been updated. It's been updated. It's got new spoilers, new liveries, a few other things that I've forgotten. But you can open the rear of the car, and the Triso R is there to insult every other GTA car which they brought out as a separate vehicle. Like the Surfer Custom, they brought out as a separate vehicle. But the Triso R has so many more new modifications, and it's the same vehicle, the same price. You can still buy it on the website. It still looks great, even to today's standards. I don't know, you can probably tell why this car makes me so happy. The Monaro, another one that just cuts in at 490,000. And a fun fact as well, this was actually my first car that I really had to save up for. It was my car that I was actually chasing at the start of GTA. 490,000 was very hard to earn back then. It's something I think we ignore now, but back then it was so hard to make money, and now in GTA it's actually quite easy to make money. We normally rant all the time about cars being so expensive, but yeah, it kind of does adjust with how much you're making. The Monaro, look at it, it just still looks elegant, it still looks nice, and yeah, if you lower it, you don't put bulletproof tires on it, you put some nice wheels on it. I'm normally always using smaller wheels, but for this video on cinematic, which I probably will keep it, I put some large track street wheels. I keep getting them both mixed up. I think we're starting to see the Goltner Classic too many times in my videos now. But yeah, a car that I actually forgot to look back on and look at the price. The trade price is 461,000. Like, for how much I love this car and it being in my top 10 favorite cars of all time, and being in most people's top 10 favorite cars, and it only being 461,000. What? If you actually complete the Diamond Casino heist as a leader, you will get the trade price of this, so probably by the time you've done the Diamond Casino heist, you'll be able to afford to buy this with the money you just earned, and you'll have a lot left over. I've already talked about how great this car is, how much it looks like the real life counterpart, character it has, the wheelies it can do, the amount of modifications it has, a crazy amount of modifications. This car's a win-win, and it's understandable why it's a lot of people's favorite car. The Warrener. The Warrener's such an icon in the game and the real life equivalent. It's got really nice suited mods, elegant. Like, it's a car I recommend if you weren't on a budget, and we actually are on a budget. Like, I wish I could have things to say about this car, like it's the fastest car or it's the best handling. It's none of them. You do see the Warrener sometimes driving around to the south of the map, but you can't store it because it does cost 120k, so it is a high-end vehicle. And unfortunately, it is another vehicle that has been removed. So yes, it's an unpopular car. I guess we could just use Rockstar's stats now of what's popular, what's not. This was never popular. You can make it look like a Bozazuku. I mean, this was one of the cars, the first ever cars which actually had Bozazuku mods, and they still look unique and great today. The Tauros. Till this day, I don't understand how this car made it under 500k. Every time it's in a budget car meet, I'm thinking, why is it even here? It has a fair few modifications as well. Rockstar didn't slack on this car. You can actually still buy it on the website for 498k, just 2k under. So Rockstar have left a budget vehicle quite renowned. It looks like the most expensive SUV in the game, but it's one of the more cheaper options. And no, it doesn't slack on performance either. Like, this car is just mind-boggling, and if it was to release today, I would say it would be near the 2 million mark. This car makes no sense at the price tag it's at. Okay, I promise you, it's not just because this is my second favorite car in the whole game and my favorite car in real life. It's because it's a good deal. I mean, it's 487k if you actually complete the Diamond Casino heist as a leader. And 487k is quite cheap if you notice how many modifications you can put on it. The little tiny details that this car has, like the headlight wipers, which is on the real car as well. There's many modifications on it. There's many liveries on it. The interior is cool and unique. The body kits are suited for the car, and now you can wide body it as well if you want, but that obviously takes us over our budget. But a car that's actually loved by everyone, nearly everyone, a BMW E30 M3. You can buy it, it's in the game, and it's priced less than cars that don't have half the characteristics this car has. I mean, if I put a side-by-side comparison on a lot of cars, I think it'll be a good selling point. Thank you for watching. Only if you did enjoy or found this helpful, please leave a like. And remember that Discord is in the description. If you do want to join our Discord, join like-minded car people, join our Discord, have a talk, or join our trading server to do trades. It's all the same Discord. The first link in the description.